All right, welcome back. I don't know what happened. It seems to have issues. I was just noticing one person viewing the stream. Thank you very much for joining and following. Unfortunately, it seems when I have viewers, it starts to drop data from the stream, and yeah, then it just crashes. So stream is back up. Let me refresh my laptop. I haven't really gone anywhere, so okay, here we are. And yes, stream is live. Everything's looking good. Now I'm going to keep an eye on this because, like I said, it seems once I get a viewer, then all of a sudden this stream starts buffering on my preview side. On my recording side here, everything looks fine. There is no issue. But for some reason, YouTube stops receiving it, and then it counts it as, oh, your stream is done. No, it's not. I'm still streaming. Everything's still fine. But I don't know. It's just an issue between my end and their end. Maybe some more professional streamers can understand what's going on and help me to fix that. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going. And, it's really just for fun. So I greatly appreciate you following. But if there's issues with the streams, I'm not going to be terribly concerned with it. So just to recap what I had just done, in the last stream, I had added the rocks to my scene. I messed around with some of the image taking, and right at the end of the last stream, I figured out how to add the textures onto the rocks that I had added, and I did that. In his video, he's talking about how to duplicate references and stack the rocks in order to create the cave. That way you're not actually duplicating everything, and then that would cause a massive file size. So I'm going to continue here.
Viewport as a way to move this stuff around as well. This is a good tip too. So if I want to, start to arc this like this, as soon as I do Alt D, I can use my viewport as a way to, because the way we move this around like this, with this middle handle right here, or when you just simply Alt D, I'm just going to attach it to the cursor, and then it's basically moving planar to the camera, perpendicular to the camera, or viewport camera, the navigation camera that we're moving around with. Great, so I'll do a couple more Alt D, move that over, rotate it around. You can see that I'm using the white handle a lot, which is, again, just a planar rotation, which is rotating perpendicular to the viewport. I'll just continue to move this up, down, all around. And we're going to leave it right there. We certainly really go all day with this stuff. We got the camera done. In the cinematic, I had to duplicate all the way down like this to create that corridor, to create that tunnel. That's something you guys can experiment with. All the techniques are going to be exactly the same. The only thing added is just going to be the ground plane. So I'll Alt D. And what I want to do here is just do escape to drop it, because we want the ground plane to be a little bit more predictable in the sense that we don't want to actually move it up and down. We just want to move it side to side. Something like that. Looking good. So the last thing we want to do here is that the viewport is looking really, really flat. It looks like a video game from the 90s, right? So what we want to do is go up in our Eevee settings and turn on our ambient occlusion. We talked a bit about that a couple times with Minecraft specifically. So we turn that on, so we start getting those contact areas. But for this one, we want to go up really high in the distance, something like 2, and then same with the factor, something like 2. These you can experiment with if you want to go up distance 5.
Wait, what did you just talk about? Ambient lighting. Hang on.
And turn on our ambient occlusion. We talked a bit about that.
Oh, okay. So he's in the world camera ambient occlusion. Okay, yeah, I like that. You can already see how it makes it. Oops, not that. How it makes a difference there in the contact shadowing. Okay.
A couple times with Minecraft specifically. So we turn that on, so we start getting those contact areas. But for this one, we want to go up really high in the distance, something like 2, and then same with the factor, something like 2.
Okay, so let's play around with that. Okay. All right, so he puts it at, say, 2. Okay, we get a nice shadow behind there. That's nice.
These you can experiment with if you want to go up distance 5. For example, if it really starts to feel contacted back there, I can now start to move these around. Since I can see, okay, now I have a hole there. I can move that up, move that around, all that good stuff. And then in the next chapter, we're going to start working on some atmosphere.
I don't want that.
For me, the toughest part about learning 3D modeling when I first started was following along with the video. It was very easy to miss this button, very easy to miss that button, and before you know, you have to stop, rewind, and struggle to find just the next step to the process. This is a brutally exhausting process, which is why we at cgfasttrack.com built a step-by-step screenshot application, and we put it into every single one of our courses. This would have saved me so much time and frustration, and makes it so much easier and enjoyable to learn 3D animation. After you're done watching the video here on YouTube, click the link in the description and follow along there. So here's where we're going to take our flat scene and apply some atmosphere on it. So the biggest thing that atmosphere does is it helps create negative space. I'm going to explain what that is, but I'll kind of break down visually just what's happening here. But basically you can see here in the foreground it's nice and contrasty, and then in the background
so the
it's all washed
he's
out.
talking about, like,
that's going to be the atmosphere.
air.
It's also going to be the thing that allows us to have these God rays in here once we start lighting.
Yep.
That's going to be atmosphere. But the importance of negative space whenever you're working on any kind of artistic medium is super important. So what we have here is 2 different types of negative space. We have complementary colors, which is basically the orange right there and the blue right there. So what that means is they're the opposites of each other on the color wheel. They're complementary to each other. And the negative space within these complementary colors is basically this is the positive space, all of this is the negative space. And I talk a lot about this in the Art of Lighting as well. That's another course on the website. Basically, this is the 80-20 rule where we want 20% of it to pop and then 80% of it of the canvas to be different, color, contrast, all those things. So complementary colors is one way to do
That
it.
makes sense.
The other is
I'm
with
very
contrast,
familiar
So
with the
here, just by
80-20
implementing
rule.
the atmosphere, we automatically get a great sense of depth with our scene, all because of the negative space. Because the foreground is going to be nice and contrasty, and then the
Yep.
background is going to be all washed out, which just
Yep.
helps make the scene look bigger. We can see depth. It just feels more engaging. So to start implementing the atmosphere, I'm going to just go over my shading tab, and then I'm going to just make sure I'm in my render mode right here, so you can see what we're doing. And I'm going to go to object.
Shading tab, shading. Okay. Oh, yep. Familiar with that because that's where I just added the textures to it.
We're going to a world mode. So we know world
Okay, hang on. He wanted render mode. Okay, I'm already on render mode.
because we set up our HDRI here, and that's going to be our environment lighting. And now we're also going to apply atmosphere to the world. So the entire world is going to have some atmospheric. And then we do that with our volumetric right here. So
Wait, what happened there?
and then I'm going to just make sure I'm in my render mode right here, so you can see what we're doing. Then I'm going to go to object. We're going to a world mode. So we
World. Okay.
know world because we set up our HDRI here, and that's going to be our environment
Wow.
lighting. And now we're also going to apply atmosphere to the world. So the entire world is going to have some atmospheric. And then we do that with our volumetric right here. So there's a surface slot right here and a volume. Atmospheric
Okay.
effects and volumetric effects, they're pretty interchangeable in terms of terminology. So that's what we're going to do is putting that right there. So what we need to do here is go to add, we'll go to shader, then we'll go to emission. And what
Add shader emission. Add. Come on, get back here. Shader emission. Okay, so it's like a ambient glow. No, dang it, I keep doing that. That's not where I wanted to do at all. No, stop that. Okay. I keep clicking the middle mouse button each when I put something in there, and then it hooks it to something. I'm like, I can't move it right.
emission is going to do here is if I plug that in, we'll immediately see, okay, everything gets flushed out. But if we go down on the string, something like, 0.0, 0.05, you can see here, okay, now we can start to see, clearly as we go back right here, we start to see atmospheric perspective. We see that atmosphere going backwards. And in the foreground as well, we start to see this as well. So what we want to do now is start, taking a look at this with our render. So if I just, go to render image, we can say, okay, not too bad, but it just doesn't feel right.
Okay, hang on. What's going on here? That is super duper. Oh, washed out. Jeez. He said 0.05. That is just way too washed out. Oh, maybe not. I'm just too far out. Okay. Okay, see, I can see how that would be very contrasty already. Let me do render image. Okay. That's looking okay, but I think I might need a little more depth there to really make that. I need it down a bit, so let's do like a 0.025. Let's try a render image. Okay, so that's nice. I like that right there. It'd be nice if maybe this was a little deeper, and so you can get a little more pop between the rocks here and the background, which I can do that. Let me adjust. See, here's the beauty of this kind of a thing. I want this to rotate, so rotate backwards a little bit, and that way it drops the sloping up into more of a flat. And then let's move that like that. Let's see. That still works just fine. Very nice. Okay, so because this cliff here, this piece of the cliff here is not really in the scene, there. Now that should pop a whole lot better. Render image, because it's not, okay, more of it, it's a farther distance before it hits that, except it's a little bit not quite right over there. So what can I do about that? I can rotate this way. No, that way. And then move a little bit farther back. Let's give that a try. I want my camera. Well, I would have to look. Perfect, right there. I didn't want that washed out background behind there. Okay, so let's try that. Render image. Okay, so now there's a little bit of a difference. I would like there to be more of a difference, but I'm not going to keep fussing with it. That looks nice right there. Okay, anyway. So back to, what tab is he in? Shading? Yeah, there we go. And we're talking about the, well, let's see if I put it up to a 0.03, maybe a 0.035. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, see, that's better. Now you can see a clear difference on this side and a noticeable difference over here and a distance in the back. Okay, I'm okay with that.
It feels way too washed out overall. So what we want to do here is do a gamma operation on this. So we'll go to compositing, And then what I'm gonna do here is just go to add, we'll go to color, and then go to gamma. So what is gamma? Gamma is basically just a way to adjust the gray value. So we have our bright values right here, we have our dark values right here, and then we can kind of crunch those in between.
Okay, so hang on. Compositing. Man, there's so many different windows on this. So many different controls to be tweaking. Add gamma? Where was the gamma? Vector, no. That would have been color gamma. Okay, and where did he put that? He just stuck it right there.
Do is just drag and drop this gamma on here. And then I'll just go up something.
Okay. Man, so many fine-tuning tweaks.
Like 3, just so we can see what it's doing. I'll
That's
go ahead and click and
amazing.
drag right here.
Okay, so, oh dear, no. 0.01, ooh, 0.9. Wow, that is very touchy. Okay, 1.3. Oh, see, I'm liking that right there.
I'm going to do Alt, Shift, and drag. And you can see here, okay, you can see what it's doing a little bit better as we get interactive here. And basically, it's crunching our image. It's a gamma operation. It's taking those midtones and crunching them down, right? And what that's going to do is help the entire scene not feel so washed out. So I'm going to leave a gamma of 1.6 on here. And now that we have this working.
Oh, well, happened to be, I got 1.6, which I do love. Really makes it all pop.
Now we can actually start to see our final composition is coming to life. What we can do is just come in here and start doing things like go into our layout tab. We can start creating some more depth. So I'm going to come in here, right click, duplicate links, move this in. And what we want to do is create more depth within our scene. So as I push this stuff towards the camera, we're going to get more sense of that atmospheric perspective, something right in there. And then up here, we have that hole right there, so we want to fix that. I'll go and frame this, go and scale this up, move that over. There we go. And we'll kind of perfect this stuff as we go, always focusing on the camera. We go to compositing, go to render image. And there we go. Now we're really starting to get a sense of depth in our scene. And then in the next step, we'll start working on our lighting.
Okay, so I'm going to pause that right there. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I will be right back. I am liking this. It's looking really good. I am actually going to save that out. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. Image, save as preview 4. Yeah. All right, that's preview 4. Save as image. Ah, oh, that is so cool. Loving it. Forgotten Kings. Preview 4. No, that's not what I wanted. Hello? Oh, open. Duh. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to leave that, and I will be right back. Thank you very much for joining me. Couple minutes. Okay, thank you for bearing with me while I took a quick break. All right, let us continue here. So I like the shading, the gamma, the ambience. So for that, let me just recap. For that, we did shading, we added emission to the environment, and that brings you into kind of a washed out phase. But then you come back over here into compositing and turn that down with some gamma, and wow, that looks great. Okay.
We go from here with this really flat scene and start adding in our lighting, which is going to create all of these light shafts that we see here. So we have a pool of light right there, pool of light right there, pool of light right there, and then of course our God rays that are coming in right here. That's what we're going to focus on. So I'm going to go back in my layout tab over here, and we're going to focus on just the initial light shaft. So I'm going to select my light right here and just get this in position. So this part, it's going to be really tricky. I think a lot of people said they struggled with this the first time, the lighting part specifically. So I'm going to try to give you guys a couple extra tips that will make it a little bit easier. So what we want to do here is we basically want to point the light at somewhere around a 45-degree angle from this right here. So we have 45 degrees.
Okay, so hang on. Let me pop back over to layout. I get what he's saying, and I don't really have anything in the way, so I'm going to have to put something in the way of the sun in order to get the God ray effects that he's talking about. Oh, see, that's cool. You can actually see it moving. Okay, so I want some of the shadow there from that rock to its right. So, okay, that's about a 45 like he was talking about.
Right here. That'll be a starting point.
Well, wasn't there some... Maybe that was a different thing, but in the last build that I did with the Minecrafty thing, you could actually set where the light was coming from. That might be a different aspect.
Then what we're going to do here is just open up a little bit of light like this. So we're just going to open this up. And basically what I want to do here is make sure that we can see the sword and the back rock both within the light shaft, right? So the first thing we have to do is set that up. So I'm going to go to lighting. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this up. So it'll be something like 5,000. And then boom, you can start to see already we're flooding our light in the scene. So that's really step one. Step one is flood your light in the scene. If you're like this and you can't see your lighting at all in the scene, that's a problem.
Hang on. Light. Where's the light? Sampling, render, object, base color, no. World? What is he talking about? Oh, he's down here in the light. Okay, so is that the light? Yeah, light. Oh, bloom, depth of field, ambient occlusion, sampling, render. Oh, light. That's what we're looking for. Crank it up. Well, he said 5. Oh, see, that looks nice. Sun. Oh, no. 5,000 sun is way too much. Oh, jeez. Okay, so that's looking way too bright. What does diffuse do? I don't know. Hang on. Get off that. Diffuse. Oh, man. That is so bright. Oh, okay. Let's do like 10. Oh, I don't know if I should be messing with that. That is so bright. But that may actually do exactly what I'm wanting. All right, so let's move that around. Oh, I see. See, that's the light moving handle thing that I was talking about. Okay, where you can actually point it. So I would be wanting it to come from, yeah, that kind of an angle over here, and to come from there if I want more shadow. Okay, so I still want that down a bit. I don't want it to be quite so bright. Maybe something like, well, it should be from the front side of the sword, right? I can't quite tell. So if we move that out there, that should be lighting the front side of the sword. Oh, I see the shadow in the back. Ooh, see, look, that right there would be so cool. Okay, so hang on. Let me get this just right. Oh, but I don't want... no. I want it to have a nice sharp image. Well, maybe it's not supposed to have a sharp image. Yeah, because every time it just kind of scatters it. Diffuse. Oh, is that the diffuse? Okay, so we'll leave that at 1. Angle. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now we got maybe 5 degree. Yeah, 5 degree looks fine right there. Oh, cool. Okay, so I would want the camera then to be a little more down so you can see the shadow a bit more. Okay, maybe turn the angle down 4. Okay, you can see the shadow in the rock. Oh, that is so awesome. Okay, let me do a render of that because that just looks so cool. Oh, so I love the shadow in the background. Maybe turn up the gamma just a bit to wash that out a hair, but not much. It's looking really nice. Compositing 1.6. Let's go 1.8. 2. No, I want it the other way around. So 1.4. Let's try that right there. Render image. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. So this is looking cool. All right, layout. See, again, as I was saying earlier, I'm learning enough about this now where I can start to tweak things like this and see what I like and make it better or make it darker, make it, more light, the right angle. Ooh, look at that shadow and capture on that. So cool. All right, let's continue. See what he says.
So get this part first. Really focus on that, so where we can see the light shaft at somewhere around a 45-degree angle, and then flood the scene with an opening. Now, step 2 is going to be to start adding in the shafts of light, and we do this by moving around these rocks. After we get this light in a good spot, we just want the rocks. And the very first step when we do this is just to make sure that we can both get our sword and the rocks within the lights together. So go ahead and start moving this around. So you can see, boom. So right now, if I move this around, you can see, okay, I got my light right in front of me, right? So I'm not over here like this, moving this thing around. That would be incredibly confusing. What you want to do is come over here behind your light. So we're essentially looking through the light. Okay. That's what we want to do. That's going to make it a lot easier. And when we do that, you look through the light. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is line up the sword and my light together, right? So my light's right on top of that sword. And then what I can do is just move this stuff around. And you can see good lighting right here. This is all about painting your scene with shadows. We have shadows over top of everything. And then, we can expose the scene up a little bit more like that.
Okay.
So we want to get a little bit of splashes in the back like this.
All right,
a big tip that we want to do is
let me work on that. I do need to add some kind of a rock there because I don't have much of a cave to do that with. So now I actually am going to need to duplicate linked. Okay, so there we go. So now he says, come to your light's angle. And now you can move from here. Aha, yeah. Okay. But I want this to be more out here, like not necessarily in the camera, but in the light path. So let me try that. Okay, there we go. Ah, so awesome. Okay. So is that Control D? Alt D. Okay, yeah. So we can do like a let's do D, something like that. There. Yeah, and we're just doing it for an image, so I just can't get over how good that looks. Well, we need a little more up in the top right. Okay, so Alt D, let's kind of cover that up a bit. Nope, didn't mean to do that. No, I want you back in. There. Okay. Okay. Now, we still got some more. I need to cover up these areas here. So, let's go Alt D. Okay, so there's that. And then Alt D again. Let's come down. Perfect, right there. Render image. Okay, so now it does give the appearance of an overhang and some stuff in the way. Oh, so awesome. Maybe another one kind of over here just to help darken up that sword piece a little bit, make it more of a highlight. Okay, so that's going to be fine.
I'm going to make sure that the sword itself is going to be silhouetted by shadows. So right now I'm getting a really big light shaft that's happening right here. And just aesthetically, that's going to look good down the road because we're not going to be able to see the guard and the handle very well. So what I'm going to do here is now move this light even more further back like this because I want to get light shafts over here. And also what I can do here is, come in here and I can start to do stuff like this where I, bring this forward and now you see, boom, we have a shaft of light right there. So this is going to be a lot of tweaking to do this. The first time when I do this right now, it might look really, really easy. And you're going to be like, how did you do that so easily? It's really just experience and practice. So don't feel like you're, alone within the struggle. There's going to be a lot of that with this chapter. There we go. So I got that shaft of light, and then what I'm going to do is go back to my light over here. I'm going to look through it just like this, and I'm going to block out that top part right there. Now you can see that now that's looking better. So I can paint right here. I can paint that shadow in just by moving this around. So now that guard is going to be silhouetted by atmosphere, not really bright rock, which is what I'm after. And now, this area is looking good, but what we want to do is still go with a negative space. So negative space being, we don't want the whole scene to be bright. This is just going to be splashes of light here, here, and here. The bulk of the scene is going to be still in shadow. That's going to be super important. So I'm going to continue to duplicate this around. I'm going to Alt-D, move this up, and there we go. You can see we can start painting the scene with more shadows. And I'm going to just continue to paint the scene with our shadows. Again, I'm getting a little pool of light right there. So you can see that. Focusing on this area right here as I move this around. Just getting a little bit of a splash. Something like that. And then we want to now start to get this background a little bit more in shadows. So I'm going to Alt-D this up. And then you can see here, okay, now we can see now that background is going to start to be in shadow as well. But we don't want to, go too far in the sense that we're, darkening our sword. We want that sword to be nice and bright. But we want, something like this. And you can see I can't actually knock that out right now because our light looks like that rock is going to be, right there. So what I can do is just focus on this middle area so we can get that shadow in there. So I'm going to move this over, move that back. And I'm just going to scale this down, something like that. And I'm just going to put this, somewhere in the back. And this is where we want to get very, very specific. So we start really broad, and then we open it up. And there you can see, okay, now I'm letting a little bit of light in here still. I'm getting that light going right there. That's all looking pretty good. Something like that. Scale that light up a little bit. And there we go. And because our scene, it's really, really contrast or really, really washed out, what we want to do is go over to our compositing tab and then do a render. So overall, that's not too bad. Obviously, it's a little bit blown out, so we'll tweak this as we go. But next up, what we want to do is add in the volumetrics. So we're going to start working on our God rays, which is what we see right here with these light shafts. And we're going to do that with our volume node, volume scatter node. So I'm going to go back to my shading tab right here. And what we need to do is add in volume scatter. So we'll add, go to shader, and we'll do volume scatter. So we have our mission, we have our volume scatter. And if we just plug this in to see what we got, you can see right out of the box, we're going to get something that looks a little bit more like...
Okay, so hang on. Add input volume shader. Shader volume scatter. Yes, okay, volume scatter here.
It's coming from the light itself.
Okay, volume. Oh, okay, hang on.
Right, so, and what we need to do is add in volume scatter. So we'll add, go to shader, and we'll do volume scatter. So we have our mission, we have our volume scatter. And if we just plug this in to see what we got, you can see right out of the box, we're going to get something that looks a little bit more like it's coming from the light itself, right? So if I go over my layout tab over here,
okay.
and if I just jump into render mode over here in the viewport, you can see, okay, we can see.
I see. Yeah, okay, you're starting to get the God
We're
rays
actually getting
there.
light shafts happening here. It's going to be a little bit too much off the bat, so I'm going to tone this down, something like 0.02 for the density, maybe a little bit higher.
Okay, let's see, 0.02. Oh, okay, so hang on, let's go. Well, I don't really have.
Something like 0.2. There we go. Go back to lighting, and then you can see up here. There we go. Now we have this right here. If I move this
Oh, okay. So, where is he looking at? How is he seeing that? Whoops, don't do that. Am I in the right? Oh, see, there we go. Ah, okay. Yeah, that'll do it. So, is this what he's talking about? Let me focus on that. No, let me get a better focus. That right there. Okay. No. So I'm not quite seeing what he's talking about. But then again, I don't have a very good cave to be seeing that.
around. You can see we have that volumetric light in play. So we get all.
Okay, so let me try that. But then again, he's working with a light, and I made mine into a sun. So, I don't think I have quite what he's messing with. Shading 0.02. Let's go 5. 0.1. I'm just trying to find, like, where is... oh, there we go. Now I see what we're talking about here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, shading... yes.
all this nice volumetric stuff happening, which is really cool stuff. Check this out a little bit more like that. Cool stuff, right? I'm going to Control Z out of that. And now what we want to do here is add this in with our emission. So back to shading. And now what we want to do is an add shader. We're going to add, go to shader, then we'll go to add shader. Go and drag and drop that over our top of our.
Okay, so add another shader. Add shader here.
Okay. Right there. Go and plug that in. So it doesn't matter which order we plug these in.
Okay, shader here, just for the sake of organization. Shader there. Okay.
We just want to add shader. That's going to add them both together. And now we have essentially a light shaft and our emission. If we want to temporarily turn off emission so our scene isn't getting so washed out,
yeah, we're going to need
focus
to mess
on
with that.
just a volume scatter node. That'd be a little bit helpful right now. So what we want to do here is now focus on that. So if I come in here, I'm going to go back to my material preview mode so I can see a little bit better. It doesn't actually show that volumetrics. What I can do here is focus.
Okay, layout. Ooh, yeah, okay. No, not what I wanted. Yeah, pommel. Let's focus on that. Okay, so. Okay, well, I mean, that's okay. It is a bit washed
Focus
out.
on shaping out those God rays. So
Okay, so shaping the God rays. I need to make sure to keep talking loud enough for you guys to hear me because I know I have issues with that. Okay. So I'm not really seeing... Oh, there it is. That's where that one rock was. Okay. Perhaps... See, but I don't really have like a really epic scene. Well, maybe that'll play out more in the cinematic view, not necessarily the image. But I don't want it to be quite so washed out. So let me turn... Which one would go down? Point, emission, density, scatter. Ooh. 0.1, 0.15. It's hard to tell which one to mess with. See, you start getting all these little things to play with, and then you kind of lose which one actually needs to be making the change with. Ooh, I like that right there. I mean, I'm okay with that. Very different than what the image here really shows, but I am totally fine with that.
I'm going to go Alt-D, move that over, scales down. And you can see here, now we can paint in our volumetrics as well. So I'm putting that in, and then I'm creating that light shaft right there. So now it's going to be on like that. A little hard to see, so what we can do is boost up our lighting, so we go to light, and then we'll boost this up something like 10,000. There we go. So now we can really start to see that light shaft, and we can see as I move these rocks around, we can paint in God rays. Just like that. And again, I'm on a pretty fast computer. For you, you might have to like move it a little bit, then get an update, move a little bit, get an update, all that good stuff. So if you feel...
Okay. I see what he's talking about, and I really should have a better cave here in order to get that particular effect, but I'm okay with it as is.
Like I'm working really fast. Don't be too discouraged by that. I've been there where I've been on a super slow computer, and it can be a struggle. So whatever you have to do to have patience and all that, you can work in solid mode. So right now I'm actually rendering 2 viewports right now. So I got render right there and render right there. If you just switch one over to solid mode, it's going to speed things up. Also, making your viewport smaller. So this is actually, if you're on like a 4K monitor, this is going to be trying to render almost 4K. So if you just do something like this where you click and drag all the way up, it immediately makes your resolution smaller for your render, which means you're going to get faster updates. So now, even like as I move now, you can see way faster updates, all just from making that a little bit smaller. And now what I want to do is just add in a little bit of detail. So I'll scale this in, scale this out, something like this, where we have like a really long one. And I'll just go ahead and rotate that around so that kind of sits in the middle of my... So I'm going to go to my light, and then again, look through there. And again, while I'm looking through here, I can see, okay, let's line that up with our sword right there. And now I can literally move this in front of there, and I know this light shaft is going to be hitting that sword, which is really cool. So we just want a little bit of detail.
Yeah.
So now you can see, okay, that volumetric starts to look a lot more organic rather than really artificial. Something like that. I can hide it, unhide it. I like the shaft that's happening down there when I hide it and unhide it. So I'm hitting H, Control Z, H, Control Z. So what I can do here is actually just move this out of the back a little bit more. So it's not so much on the foreground, but it's going to be in the back of the sword a little bit. And again, this part is going to be super tedious. It's going to take a lot of practice, but it's all those like little details that are going to make the scene really pop out. And now I'm going to go back to my shading tab and go ahead and plug in my mission again. And then I'll go ahead and go to my compositing tab and then just do a render. Great, so that's looking good so far. And then next we're working on some final tweaks.
That really does look cool.
So most of the tweaks I'm going to be doing from here on out are going to be very specific to my scene. I'm going to do the ones that you also can do, but there's going to be a lot that's going to be kind of tweaking very specific to my scene. So first off, we want to be able to iterate very, very fast and be able to see our render very fast. Anytime we make a final, we want to be able to see our final scene. So in our image output settings right here, output properties, what we can do is set our percentage to something like 50. So we have to render that really high resolution. Also, we can use the hotkey F12, which will then pull up that hotkey really fast, or pull up that really fast, or render range right there. It's pretty quick as well. So the other thing that we want to do really quick is just apply a little bit of depth of field into our scene. Depth of field is where we get that like blurry background effect. Right? So I'm going to select my camera up here, go to my camera properties, we'll just check on depth of field. You can see I'm already kind of...
Okay, hang on. So I'm going to lay out camera, depth of field. Where did that say? Camera. Yep. Oh, okay. Depth of field. Ooh. We're going to have to play with that.
It's really blurry. What I can do is just select focus on, and then click my guard right here, object guard right there. And now we always going to focus on.
Okay. What is that? Focus on, then guard. Ah, okay. See, that's much better. Yeah.
And then if I go lower on my f-stop right here, so if I do something like 0.1, you can see
f-stop. Okay. I'm not quite sure. Not seeing anything change.
okay, the entire background.
All right, let me try a render, see what happens. Oh yeah, I see. It is blurring out. That is nice. Oh, look at the detail. You can see it looks like a crack running right up the blade. Very cool.
Background becomes blurry. This is going to be rendered with Eevee, which is a real-time render, which is going to have perfect depth of field. So we don't want to go too heavy on this. Somewhere around 1 will do for my shot. Just so we get a little bit of blurriness in the foreground, a little bit of blurriness in the background. I'll go ahead and F12.
Okay, well hang on. Let's try that. 1 meter. Try a render image. Okay, so that's a little bit of blurriness here, quite a bit of blurriness there. Now I'm going to turn it way up. Let's go 20, see what happens. Don't notice a whole lot of a difference. So, alright, well I'll just leave it at a 10. That looked nice.
12. Check that out, and you can see, okay, now it's like a very similar
That
blurriness,
looks
blurriness.
really good though, but of course
and then the next thing what we want to do is make sure that the
professional.
background feels very atmospheric. And right now the contrast right here, we can't see it very clean. Where we go from here to here, we should be able to see a very clear shape, but we can't, right? So what we do is go back to our shading tab, go to our emission, and we can play around with that. We can do something like 0.1, and then F12 to see this final result. You see, okay, not too bad. I think, we might be able to go a little bit lower on our gamma over here. So compositing gamma, if we go up on this, it's going to crunch it a little bit more. So something like a value of 2. And now you can see, okay, now this becomes very clear. This shape right here, that's what we want. And again, this is getting back to negative space. We want a very clear positive foreground all the way around here, and then a very clear negative back here. And that's turning out pretty good, so I'm going to leave it right there. So the other thing with my scene right now, the glow is a little...
I understand what he's talking about there. And see, I don't really have that on mine. I kind of do. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I definitely get what he's talking about. I maybe need a little less foreground, a little more background for the 80-20 rule. But I'm okay with that.
A little bit too much. So I'm going to go back to my layout tab right here. I'm going to go to my render settings up here, go to bloom. And then, there's a couple different things that we can do. We can tone down the radius. So I'm just going to go undo out of that. And what I like to do here is I like to just come in here and I can just do like...
world. What is he messing with? Bloom. Oh, he's in this. Ambient occlusion. Bloom. He's messing with radius. Okay. I think I can see what he's talking about there. Alright, let's see if we can get a better view. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that is a glow, but it doesn't go anywhere. And then you can turn out how far it blooms. I'm okay with it being about a 5. Alright, let's try a render. Yeah, very crisp. I love it. That's crisp on the image. Blurring out on the background. I'm happy with that. I mean, for being my first thing, it looks really good.
Divide by 2. So /2. And then what I'll do is just hit F12. That way I can see my final result. See, okay, is that enough or is it not? We can go down in intensity. Same thing, divide by 2. Hit enter, and then F12. Now, I know if I want to go back to the original, all I have to do is multiply it by 2. Great. So in terms of negative space, this is starting to look pretty good. The highlight is looking a little bit better. But the biggest thing right now is the blade is looking really good. This part is looking really good. But we can't see the handle up here. It's getting really, really lost. It's getting lost within this background. So we have a couple of options. We can add some more
especially
legend,
that
which can help,
shadow right
but we don't want to
there.
really do
You
that either
can't-
because it's going to be affecting a lot of our scene.
Yeah.
So a good technique to do here is we go into our shading tab. I'm going to select my guard and go over to object mode right here. And what we can do is simply brighten this up, right? So it's already metallic. The specular slider is going to be not useful right here because we have the metallic slider all the way up. But what we can do is go up on the base color. We can select this, and we have this value slider right here. If we just go up on this, it's going to make that shader brighter. So if I hit F12 again, see what that's looking like. So now you can see, okay, right away, we can start to see that a little bit better, which is exactly what we want. And now if we go over to our handle, for example, we can start playing with this as well. This one, because it's not metallic, we can go up on the specularity, which is the reflection, which is going to make it brighter overall. Now if I hit F12 and see what that looks like, okay, now we can start to see that pop a little bit more. And we're just plugging the grunge map straight into here. A good technique that we can do is plug in a ramp so we can control this a little bit better. So if we go to add, so we go to converter and then color ramp. Now go ahead and just drag and drop this on this. Now it's a little bit hard to see here, but if I just, get out of my camera mode right here, I'll just end, make sure my view lock camera is off, and then I'll go ahead and cue frame selected and come in here. Now what we can do is make this brighter or, more diffuse. Basically what this is doing is going to crunch our black. If I just plug this ramp directly into the material part, we can see this a little better. But the white values here are going to be diffused, which means we're not going to be able to see much of it. The black parts of it are going to be shiny. So as I crunch the blacks, and come in here. Now what we can do is make this, so we go to add, so go to converter and then color ramp. Now go ahead and just drag and drop this on this. Now it's a little bit hard to see here, but if I just, get out of my camera mode right here, I'll just end, make sure my view lock camera is off, and then I'll go ahead and cue frame selected and come in here. A little bit better. So if we go to add, so go to converter and then color ramp. Now go ahead and just drag and drop this on this.
Where is he adding that? Okay. He's in object on the pommel, so I need object. There we go. Okay, select you, move you out of the way, add color. Was it color? No, converter, color ramp. Okay.
Now it's a little bit hard to see here, but if I just, get out of my camera mode right here, I'll just hit N, make sure my view lock camera is off, and then I'll go ahead and Q frame selected and come in here. Now what we can do is make this brighter or more diffuse. Basically, what this is doing is going to crunch our black. If I just plug this random directly into the material output, we can see this a little better. But the white values here are going to be diffused, which means we're not going to be able to see much. The black parts of it are going to be shiny. So as I crunch the blacks, it's going to become shinier. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the principal shader again. And now you can see, okay, now we're getting more shine right there, which is what we want. So it's going to help a little bit. It's not going to be a cure-all.
Hang on,
The white values here, I'll just hit N, make sure my view lock camera is off, and then I'll go ahead and Q frame selected and come in here. Now what we
Q frame, not quite sure what he's doing there, but
is make this brighter or more diffuse. Basically, what this is doing is going to crunch our black. If I just plug this random directly into the material output, because
okay, let's do that. Plug this straight into there. Ooh, I see. Okay.
it's a little better. But the white values here are going to be diffused, which means we're not going to be able to see much of it. The black parts of it are going to be shiny. So as I
Okay, hang on. Let's play with that. Okay. Oh, you can adjust both at the same time. Oh, your whites and your darks. Oh, I'm liking that. Okay. So just curious. Let's see what that does to the image. Oh.
crunch the blacks, it's going to become shiny.
Okay.
So we go ahead and plug in the principal shader again. And now you can see, okay, now we're getting more shine right there, which is what we want.
Okay, see, I was complaining earlier about there being too much shine, and this is finally addressing that. Okay, so let's take that back into base color. Wait, and then you come out to there. Okay, so I see what they're doing there, and yeah, that doesn't look great. So you want it, okay, so you drop the, okay, so that's where it starts out at, and it's kind of a white shininess. You bring that down, it makes it even more white. So I want it to be more black because that's its material, but oh wait, but less shiny. Drop color. I don't know what that does. You know, I'm really liking it better not having that, because that just makes it look super washed out and shiny, and I don't like that. So you drop that down, it makes it white. You raise that up, but it's incredibly shiny now. I don't like that. Ah, now it's messed something up like that. All right, let's back out of that entirely. I don't want to do any of that. I hope it goes back that far. All right, there. Oh, okay, because what? Color, oh, color going into roughness, not base color. Okay, so let's try that now that I know what that's doing. Shader, color, what was that? Converter, color ramp. Color ramp, there we go. Okay, see, I had that put back into the base color, not into the roughness. All right. So now we drop that. Okay. See there, yes, it's getting rid of the reflection. Oh, see, now it's looking much more like the leather that I wanted it to be. All right, I'm just curious. Put that back up there. And what is that? Ooh, no, that makes it look like a shiny plastic. That I do not want. Okay, so get rid of the shininess. Something like that would be fine. Nice.
So it's going to help a little bit. It's not going to be a cure-all. If we go to view, viewport, camera, we can get back to our camera, and I'll just do.
All right, render. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I can notice a difference there. But let's just try it there, do another render, and see what the difference is. It's not much of a difference. Okay. But it would probably make a lot more of a difference in like a higher detail. Okay, so there's that. Oh, wait, no, I didn't want to do that. Render. So you can't tell a difference much in just the image, but maybe in like more of a 3D modeling like any game type environment, that might make more of a difference because then you're seeing close up, far away, different angles as the character's moving.
F12.
Well,
So
we
that's
are going to
together.
be
So at this
working
point,
this
you know, we
into
can
a
do a couple different versions
cinematics.
of this. We can do, you know, if
So
I just render image, and I could, you know,
that might make a big difference in the
for you, what I would do
cinematic.
is go into the percentage here, turn this back up to 100%. I'm going to leave this down for now, and then I'm going to do F12, and then I'm just going to do image, save as, and we'll do our final cave version 1. And then we just do a ton of different iterations. We can go back to our layout tab here. We can select the camera here. We can move this in like this, move this up, and we can do a shot right here. Move that in, and we'll hit F12. There we go. Now we can do a ton of different versions that look just like this. They're going to all look very cinematic, very clean. All the work that we've done this far is going to look really good. The depth of field is going to look really good on these close-up shots. So you can see as we move in here, just like that. I'm going to hit F12, and then boom, that blurry background back there is going to look really, really good. Image save as. We'll do a Final Cave version 3. And yeah, you can play around with, you know, coming into our camera settings right here, playing with focal length. So if you want to do like something like 15, which is a wide angle lens, it's going to be a lot more work because you're going to see a lot more of the scene. But you can see how like this is going to make it feel very grand, whereas like 50 and maybe 90 millimeter is going to make it feel a bit more sleek. So 90 millimeter is closer to what I use inside of the cinematic. So we'll do something like that. F12. And at this point, you know, it's getting really washed out because I need to fill in the rest of the scene. So I'm going to undo out of that. I'm just going to make this 50, and I'm going to leave off just with a wider composition. Yep, and we'll leave off right there. Turned out pretty good. And then we're going to have a couple bonus chapters specifically on integrating the camera and then doing some very basic keyframe animation just to get things moving. And as always, show us your work. We want to see it. Check Instagram every day, hashtag CG Fast Track, and we'll check it out. Here's where we're headed. We're going to work on 2 different camera animations that are going to equal to 2 different shots. And we're also going to integrate the little floaty bits so we can see a little bit of particles that we have here.
Okay.
And we're also going to integrate the character using Mixamo. So I want to stress really quick that this is not necessarily, animation isn't a beginner's thing. You want to start with like just building basic props and then later on down the road. Now, we have 2 different areas that we're going to cover: keyframes, which is the very basics, and just a very basic particle setup. So after you're done doing this, you know, don't expect to be able to do much else outside of what we're seeing. You know, we have a full course on our website just to do animation alone. So we're going to go through things as quickly as possible.
I'm not going to
cover
worry
what
about
we
the
need to, explain things as
character,
much as we can with the time
but
we
I
have.
do
Ultimately,
want
if
to
you
do
feel like
the
you're going to be
camera
pushing
stuff
and not really understanding the full thing,
and the
that's totally
particle
fine.
effects.
And so what we're going to do now is work on this shot right here, which is just a vertical camera animation. So to start setting up our first shot for camera animation, you can see here, you know, if we just take our camera and move this up and down, it's pretty easy to get something going, right? So we need to actually do 2 things. We need to set up our time slider down here. So we talked a bit about this with Minecraft. We have our play button right here. And as soon as we do that, we're basically in animation mode. Nothing's moving yet because we haven't set up our keyframes. So I'll hit pause, and then I'll hit rewind. So the first thing we want to do is just set up our start endpoint. Our endpoint is going to be 120. That's going to be 5 seconds long, so it's 24 frames a second, 5 seconds long, which equals 120 frames. And then from here, what we can do is go all the way. We can click and drag our time slider right here, and go all the way to frame 120. And then what we'll do is go and move this in and start framing this up. So we want to get the last frame looking pretty good. Come here and do something like this, somewhere right in there. And then what we want to do is just make sure that this is going to be animation friendly. So if we go up somewhere right here,
Oh, okay.
go all the way down right here, how's it going to look? And this is going to look really cool because we got that depth of field
So
going, which is
we
going to
wanna
look really nice.
do-
We're going to look really out of focus. So we'll go all the way down, you know, somewhere right in here.
Slider to the
And then just go
end.
up all the way like that, just to see how it's going to look like it's in motion. Now,
Okay.
what I'm going to do now is while I'm on frame 120, you know, frame up my camera like this, and then go over to my object properties right here. And then on location, what I want to do is right-click, insert keyframes. And what keyframe is going to do is basically, you can think of this as a way to stamp these values onto this frame right here. And then if I go back all the way to the frame 1, I can now
Okay.
move this again, just like that. And then what we can do now is go all the way to the bottom right there. And I'll come over here and you'll see that we now have this little orange, you know, icon right here. Green means it hasn't been adjusted, but there is a keyframe on it, and orange means it's been adjusted. So what we want to do here is just right-click, insert keyframes. And now you can see, okay, as we move the slider, it's going to be moving. Again, if you're on a slower computer, what you want to do is mostly work with solid mode. Solid mode is going to be really, really quick.
So
to
hang on,
animate.
let me give this a try. Let's do like let's pull this in a bit. Well, here we can work in this much easier. Yes, okay. So I want to do like a end here. So we do insert keyframe. I want to end there. Okay. And then over here, I want it to be, let's start down here. Okay. And we'll just try that. Insert keyframe. Okay, so play. Well, that was ridiculously anticlimactic. What happened?
Since we're just doing a very, very basic animation, it doesn't matter too
Okay. What?
much. But then what we can do is right-click, insert keyframe again. And then on location, what I want to do is right-click, insert keyframes. And what keyframe is going to do is basically, you can think of this as a way to stamp these values onto this frame right here. And then if I go back all the way to the frame 1,
Okay, so delete keyframe. It wanted it on 120, delete keyframe. Hello. Oh. Okay. Delete. There. Okay. So it said, oh, but I don't want that there. I want you undo that. I want you up here for the final shot, and then insert keyframes. That's what it said to do.
I can now move this again, just like that.
Okay. So I want to move you down. Okay.
And then what we can do now is go all the way to the bottom right there, and I'll come over here and you'll see that we now have this little orange, icon right here. Green means it's hasn't been adjusted, but there is a keyframe on it, and orange means it's been adjusted. So what we want to do here is
Okay, but see, I don't have that. Where did my keyframe go anyway? Insert keyframes. Okay. Now move. There we go. Okay.
just right click, insert keyframes. And now you can see, okay, as we
Okay, so do I adjust that to 0? Oh, okay. Put it at the frame you want, then move it. Okay, now it's okay. Now insert keyframes. Now, haha, so cool. Okay, so I actually want to. Oh no, no, no! Don't do that. I want to pull this in because I just thought of something else really cool. It does. It comes up for the first couple seconds and then zooms out. Okay, so let's pull this out and do a full frame shot right there. I actually want to bring that in. I want to bring it in, frame it up nicely, and then kind of scoot to the middle, down. Perfect. And then finish keyframes. Okay, so now, okay, so now we go play. Very nice.
as we move the slider, it's going to be moving. Again, if you're on a slower computer, what you want to do is mostly work with solid mode. Solid mode is going to be really, really quick to animate on. Since we're just doing a very, very basic animation, it doesn't matter too much. But then what we can do is while we're in solid mode, just hit play, and we can see, closer to what, the final result is going to do. Now, with cinematic camera moves, one of the common mistakes I remember making, and I see a lot as well, is having this camera move that starts moving slow, then it speeds up, and then it slows down again. That's not very cinematic. And if you watch the cinematic for the Sword and Stone series, you'll see that we don't really ever do that. So if we want to adjust that, what we do is just pause this. And then what we can do is select our keyframes down here. We'll right click, we'll go into interpolation mode, and we'll set this to linear. Now, if we click that, what we can do is now hit play.
Okay, so right click, keyframe, interpolation, linear.
And now we'll see that, okay, now it's not doing any speeding up or slowing down.
Yes, very linear. Cool. So I definitely want to do the
Nice and smooth. Now,
camera
what is all
keyframe
this
stuff.
keyframe interpolation? Basically, Bezier is going to be smooth, linear is going to be sharp. So again, we're going to be skipping over a lot of stuff, but basically think of this as no ease in, no ease out. Now, if we want to make any adjustments to this, we can always, select the keyframe, right click, and then just go to delete keyframes, just like that, and now it's not going to be moving anymore. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z to undo out of that. So we have our keyframe there. So that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go back over to render mode so we can see this what it's going to look like. What I like to do here is just hit F12 to render, see what it looks like there, and then go all the way down, do a couple renders, see how it's looking. That's looking pretty good. Then we'll go up right here, do another render, see how it's looking. So that's looking pretty good. Now, before we render this out, we want to go to our render properties up here, and we want to adjust a couple more things. So we have, screen space reflection. If we turn that on, you notice right here, we'll be able to see a little bit more of an interaction with the sword right there. So I'm going to toggle this on so we see that. So you can see the sword's not going to be reflecting the ground, which is going to look really nice in animation mode. And we also want to turn on motion blur, which is going to be nice to just capture a little bit of camera motion blur.
I might
we
want to back that out a bit because that's looking awfully blurry. All right, it's out of its focal length is the issue there. All right, so keyframe comes up and then out. But did I completely mess that up by... Did it even take the camera movement that I just did? All right, let me pull that out and then play with that. No, okay. So I would need to delete keyframes. Okay, so in order for that to work, I want to pull out a bit and then come down just so that, because it seemed a bit blurry, and now I actually like seeing the rock textures there. So let's start there, insert keyframes, and then just pan up. We'll come up to there just for fun, and then, oh, wait, okay. So let me do the halfway point here. We'll come up. Let's go there. and then do a zoom out. Okay. Insert keyframes, and then for the 120, no, that's not what I wanted. 120, we will do pulling it back. And frame it up very nicely. There. Insert keyframes. Okay, play. That's much sharper. I like that. Oh, yeah, yeah. See, it didn't have like the jerky adjustment like it had before. Okay, so pause. Let's get a render here, see what that looks like. Oh, that is so nice. See, now it's much more crisp on the blade. All right, let's move it up to here. Render. Oh, so nice. And then, of course, the final shot. All right.
Out. So we'll go to our output properties right here. And what we'll do is we have our resolution separate here. We're currently at 50%. We're going to get a little error, I believe, with that. So
Output 1080. I want my default resolution. Like, I want it to be really high resolution. Let me grab that real quick. No. Cancel. Default resolution system. Display 1920 1080. 1920 1080. Cancel. That is not what I want to click. 1920 1080. Oh, what did I click? Okay. I want 1920 1080 is my resolution. Okay, see that changes everything. Wait. Oh, it simply... Where did my keyframes go? It lost my keyframes. Okay. So that messes up my... okay. But where'd my keyframes go? I've lost my keyframes. I don't know what I did. Why am I not seeing keyframes? Auto keying, automatic keyframe insertion for objects, bones and masks. Okay, bones, view, area sync. Why is it not showing my keyframes though? And like I can't get rid of them? Can I? No. And I want to adjust that just because it messed up my well, I mean, it's not that bad. I just wanted higher resolution, but now where are my keyframes? No. It's not what I want. Ah, hey, keyframes are back. That keyframe's back. Is it attached to the objects that I'm... Oh. Wow, that's interesting. Delete keyframes. It's the object. Wait, so I could actually move the stone? Okay, I'm just going to play around with that for a bit. Hang on. Let's take... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I did not mean to put the screen on again. That was my mistake. It'll be off in just a moment. Okay. So I just realized that I could actually play with individual items. So I want to object. There. No. World. Am I doing it right? Yeah. Okay. So keyframes. Insert keyframe. And then let's say just randomly move that. Well, I want to move the keyframe. Move that rock up. I'm just experimenting now to see, can I actually... Yes. So now the rock and the camera move. Okay. So now I'm seeing how you do moving everything. Your keyframes here. Okay, I'm just messing with that rock. I'm going to put that back. I want to get rid of these keyframes here just because I don't want that rock to move. I just realized that I could put keyframes on anything, and that means they can all move independently of each other, and that is cool. Okay, so 1920 1080, I think it was. I really should have left that open. All right, so cancel. Don't want to close you. Hang on, I'm just getting my resolution again. 1920 1080. Yes, 1920 1080. No, I do not want to. Can't close again. Okay, so output 1920 1080. Now I need to adjust my keyframes again. All right, so delete you, put you on 1. I want you. All right. All right, hang on. I want to frame up the entire thing. But this is going to change everything. Like even my shaders and stuff are all going to be different now. Okay. So that can kind of mess you up if you need to basically work in the resolution you want, or it's going to change all your shaders and everything. Let me do a render there and see how that looks. Okay. All right, I'm okay with that. More of a background, I can see that. It's still nice and crisp and sharp. Everything's looking good here. It's just a bigger image, and it's probably a larger file, but I'm okay with that. It still looks nice. Okay, so no, that's not what I want. World, no. Object keyframe, nope, I don't want the keyframe on that guy. I want camera. Insert keyframe. Actually, that'll be the last shot right there. Okay, so for my first shot, I want to be more like right up down here. Oh, not what I wanted. Well, I can work over here. That'll be fine. Let's zoom in a bit, come down. Okay, is that going to be too close? No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so let's do a keyframe there. Keyframe, and then shift up. I just want to come straight up to that. Do a, well, gotta adjust that first. There. Oh, okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, that'll work. That's fine. Okay, but I want to pause and take a few renders just to see, is it coming in clear? Oh, yes. Oh, that is coming in so clear. That's very nice. Now, add a close render. I want to make sure that my focal length is all proper. Oh, that is just so beautiful. It looks realistic, and I like that. That's nice. Okay, sorry, I'm
we want to
fooling
set the
around.
output. So make sure you have your file saved somewhere. Wherever you have this saved is where it's also going to save the renders. So we're going to do // right there. And basically what that does is it says, okay, Blender, render this out wherever the Blender file is, and that's going to be a relative path. And I'm just going to do underscore renders, and we'll do camera.
I have no idea what he's talking about, but hang on.
Now we want to actually render this out. So go to our output properties right here. And what we'll do is we have our resolution set over here. We're currently at 50%. We're going to get a little error, I believe, with that. So we'll talk about that in a second. What we want to do is set the output. So make sure you have your file saved somewhere. And wherever you have this saved is where it's also going to save.
So file save. Okay.
The renders. So we're going to do // right there. And basically what that does is
okay, hang on. Output frame rate. Output. Okay, frame range. Output //
it says, okay, Blender, render this out wherever the Blender file is, and that's going to be a relative path. And I'm just going to do underscore renders, and we'll do camera A version 1. So camera A.
Okay. Render / renders / camera A version 01. All right. Relative path / renders camera A underscore 001.
Just be in the first camera that we're doing, then just version 1. We'll do file format, we'll do MPEG video.
V001.
And then after this, what we want to do is go down to
Okay, hang on. What did he just do there?
Blender, render this out wherever the Blender file is, and that's going to be a relative path. And I'm just going to do underscore renders, and we'll do camera A version 1. So camera A just being the first camera that we're doing, and then just version 1. We'll do file format, we'll do MPEG video.
FF video. File format. FMPEG. Okay.
And then after this, what we want to do is go down to encoding and click this little option right here, which is going to be a preset for encoding. And what I'm going to do is go to H264 and MP4.
Okay. Encoding H64.
Which is going to be a little bit more Instagram compatible. And then we'll do medium quality, and then we'll go to high quality.
Encoding metadata. No. I don't have a quality. Where did he just click the quality? Oh, output quality. But I don't see a output quality. See, we're working on a different version. This video is a couple years old, and Blender has a few new versions out. So let's see. Okay, encoding.
And then before we render this out, I'm just going to go.
Okay, hang on.
Do is go down to encoding and click this little option right here, which is going to be a preset for encoding.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is go to
H64
and
in MP4. Okay, in MP4. Encoding. Where did that go? Oh, encoding H264 in encoding, or in MP4, okay. Is that what it's already at? Okay. Video, audio. Oh, there's the output quality. Oh, okay. High quality.
Going to be a little bit more Instagram compatible, and then we'll do medium quality, and then we'll go to high quality. And then
Okay.
before we render this out, I'm just going to go ahead and save. So first off, typically
Container? I didn't see.
I don't render with MPEG video. Typically, I render with like an EXR image sequence. Just for the sake of keeping this super basic, we're just going to stick with MPEG video for now. And that's going to be an easy way to get it out in the world, post it on social media, and all that. So now what we can do is just simply go up to render up here, and then we'll do render animation. You'll see.
Okay. Render animation. Okay. I'm just going to let it process, but this looks cool. I'm not sure how long it'll take to process. Frame 10, 11. Oh, okay. This is taking a bit. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped the gun on that so quickly. Okay. Cancel that. All right. I'm gonna.
We got our error down here that we're getting, and it's saying our image sequence. Just for the sake of keeping this super basic, we're just going to stick with MPEG video for now. And that's going to be an easy way to get it out in the world, post it on social media, and all that. So now what we can do is just simply go up to render up here, and then we'll do render animation. You'll see we got our error down here that we're getting, and it's saying it's height not divisible by 2, which basically is saying that the video format that we're trying to render is not compatible with this because it's just a weird format, and it's because we have this 50% on. So long story short, we can.
So I have 100%. Yeah, so I'm not going to have that issue.
Boost this up to 100% if we're ready to do final quality. I would stick with 50% until you're absolutely sure you're okay with this. And what I'm going to do is just change this to 1340. That's going to be a nice workaround for us to be able to render this out in animation without getting that error. Then as soon as we get that, we'll see a little pop up. We'll see the frames starting to flash like this. And this is going to take a while for sure. For me, it's going to maybe take like a minute or two. If you're on a slower computer, it could take a few hours, right?
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and skip over this rendering part in the video. And here we are with our final animation. So from here, what we need to do is we need to start adding in our particles, which is what we're going to start working on next. Now we're going to start working on the particle setup that we see here. So all these.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wait to do the rendering until we do the particle system because I don't want to spend all that time rendering just to add the particles and then have to render again.
Little floaty best particles that we have right here. It really helps make the scene feel really natural and a lot more atmospheric. So before we get started, what we want to do is just create a brand new setup. And at this point, it's really good to start utilizing the outliner a lot. So if we do just turn off all of these collections, we can now basically just have
yes, sword environment.
A fresh scene. And if we do collection up here, and we can just do new collection. While I have my scene collection selected, I'll create that collection and just do particles. Now we can create everything now within inside that while this is selected. So while this is selected, we'll go up to our add object here, mesh, and we'll do cube. There we go. And then now what we'll do is add object to mesh, and we'll do isosphere. So isosphere is just another primitive that we're going to be working with. And
okay, add isosphere. Add. Wait, what did he do? Hang on.
it's going to come out really big. We'll do particles. New setup. And at this point, it's really good to start utilizing the outliner a lot. So if we do just turn off all of these collections, we can now basically just have a fresh scene. And if we do collection up here, and we can just do new collection. While I have my scene collection selected, I'll create that collection and just do particles. Now we can create everything now within inside that while this is selected. So while this is selected, we'll go up to our add object up here, mesh, and then we'll do cube. There we go.
Okay, mesh, add mesh cube. All right, there we go. All right, let's focus on that. Bring that back over here.
And then now what we'll do is add object to mesh, and we'll do isosphere. So
isosphere. Add isosphere. Okay, let me move that up out of there so I can find it.
Isosphere is just another
Oh,
primitive that
little
we're going to work
particles.
with, and it's going to come out really big. What we're going to do is go to object mode over here, and we'll just scale this down to something like 0.1. We'll go ahead and move.
Okay, object 0.1 scale point. Okay, so this is your particles. That's neat. It becomes your particles. Nope, I didn't want that. Stop. Oh, I mean, that seems like a really big particle. Yeah, he did 0.1.
Move this off the frame.
Yes.
Now what we can do is we go to this box. We're going to use this as a way to emit particles using this isosphere. So if we go down here, we can see we have our little particle set up right here. So if we come in here, we get particle properties, and then we'll do is hit plus. And that's just going to create a new particle system. Now we have officially our first particle system. And if I just hit play, we'll start to see some stuff. Now, this particle system gets really complicated.
Hang on. That looks cool. Oh. Neat. All right, so hang on. If I slide this off over here, except his is coming off the box. That is so cool. All right, let me put it in the box. And does it like emit out of the box? It falls under the box. Okay. Huh, that's so cool.
There's so many settings in here. A lot of really good stuff.
Okay, but hang on. I did something different.
And it's going to come out really big. What we're going to do is go to object mode over here, and we'll just scale this down to something like 0.1. We'll go ahead and move this off the frame. And now what we can do is we go to this box. We're going to use this as a way to emit particles using this isosphere. So if we go down here, we can see we have our little particle set up right here.
Oh, that's because I had the wrong thing set. Oh, okay. So I want to minus that. I want the box set. Okay, there we go. Ha! The box emits the particles. Okay.
Here, so if we come here, we get particle properties, and then we'll do is hit plus. And that's just going to create a new particle system. Now we have officially our first particle system. And if I just hit play, we'll start to see some stuff. Now, this particle system gets really complicated. There's so many settings in here, a lot of really good stuff in here, but we're only going to scratch the surface, just what we need to create this project. So I'm going to go ahead and rewind, go back to the beginning, and then what we're going to do now is just set the number to 300. That's just going to limit the amount that we see that's going to be emitted at any given time. We're going to do start frame is going to be negative 100. That's just going to set it to where on frame 1, there's already going to be stuff in the air, right? So we don't want to just magically poof out of nowhere. We want it to start on frame 1 with things already living in our scene. Lifetime, we're going to set this to 200, and basically what that means is the particles are not going to die for 200 frames, so they're going to be visible for at least 200 frames. Which negative 100 and then 200, that's going to equal 100 frames. And if we want to go up to something like 300 on that too, that's totally fine. The very first thing that we want to do is get this a little bit closer. What we'll do is go down to field weights, and then we have things like gravity. We'll just go ahead and turn gravity down to 0. And that'll be like, okay, now they're just going to be floating off into space.
Okay, hang on. Where did that just go?
100 frames. And if we want to go up to something like 300 on that too, that's totally fine.
So global.
The very first thing that we want to do is get this a little bit closer. What we'll do is go down to field weights, and then we have things like gravity.
Okay. Inside here, field weights. Gravity. Ooh, man, he is not kidding. There is so many options in
Just
here.
go ahead and turn gravity down to 0. And that'll be like
0. Gravity 0.
okay, now they're just going to be floating off into space. And now what we want to do is go over to our velocity up here. And velocity basically just controls how fast these things are going to be moving by default. And velocity normal basically means, okay, wherever the polygon direction is happening, it's going to be basically shooting off into space. And what we want to do is set that down to 0. So it's not actually
Okay, so field weights, velocity.
shooting off into space at all. So they're basically just going to be static right now, right? And if we do something like randomize, and we set that randomize to something like 0.2, all of a sudden, okay, now they're going in completely random directions, but now they're just like floating around, which is more.
Okay, wait. He's still in the velocities. Okay, so we do normal 0? No. Oh, yeah. 0. Okay, my particles. Okay, the existing particles kept flying off, but now these don't move. Okay, so 1. Okay.
What we're after. Now we'll go down to render, set that down to 0. So it's not actually shooting off into space at all. So they're basically just going to be static right now, right? And if we do something like randomize, and we set that randomize to something like 0.2, all of a sudden, okay, now they're going in completely
Okay, randomize 0.2.
random directions, but now they're just like floating around, which is more
0.
what we're after. Now we'll go down to render, and we'll do render as, and we'll choose object right here, and then we'll do ISO instance, and do ISO sphere.
Render
Now you can see, okay, now we're grabbing that object that we had before. And
as
if I just go to my wireframe mode here, I can see this
object?
a little bit better.
Wait, what did he say?
Now we'll go down to render, and we'll do render as, and we'll choose object right here, and then we'll do ISO instance, and do ISO sphere.
ISO instance. What? Where did he go? Render.
That randomizes something like 0.2. All of a sudden, okay, now they're going in completely random directions, but now they're just like floating around, which is more what we're after. Now we'll go down to render, and we'll do render as, and we'll choose object right here, and we'll do
Object.
ISO instance, and do
Oh, okay. Instance ISOsphere.
ISO sphere. Now you can see, okay, now we're grabbing that object that we had before. if I just go into my wireframe mode
Oh.
here, I can see this a little bit better. I'm going to do wireframe mode over here as well. And we can start to see, okay, now we're really starting to get some floaty bits. And we can move this down, so the cube itself, I'm going to pause and then move this down.
I can
so this is
see
actually going to be
them,
more in
yeah.
our shot. What I'm going to do now is just maybe turn on sword, for example, just so we can see this in context with the shot. And then just rewind and hit play. And now we can get a feel for like, okay, is this looking about where we're headed? In this particular case it is. And then in the next chapter we're going to start working on the rendering.
Okay, hang on. Let's turn all of this. Hello. Oh, back on. Took a minute to process. Okay. Except we're inside the box, so wait. All right, that's looking really good. So cube off. Oh, hang on. Watch this. Okay, why do I not see particles? Cube on. Cube off. Oh, okay. Oh, because it's the cube emitting them. Hang on. All right, let's see what he said. Maybe
now
I missed something.
we're grabbing that object that we had before. And if I just go into my wireframe mode here, I can see this a little bit better. I'm going to do wireframe mode over here as well. And we can start to see, okay, now we're really starting to get some floaty bits. And we can move this down, so the cube itself, I'm going to pause and then move this down. So this is actually going to be more in our shot. And what I can do now is just maybe turn on sword, for example, just so we can see this in context with the shot. And then just rewind and hit play. Now we can get a feel for like, okay, is this looking about where we're headed?
Oh, okay.
In this particular
okay,
case.
I see. So over here we want wireframe. There we go. Okay, so now play. Is this looking like what we're wanting? Cube on. Okay, yeah, okay. I can see some of the particle bits. Except I think I would want it more up. Oh, well, not necessarily. I guess it's just the way the animation's working. Okay.
It is. And then in the next chapter, we're going to start working on the rendering setup for these. If we render this thing right now, we'll just do render image. We'll see, okay, we just get this weird box-looking thing. So we'll start talking about that next. So as we scrub through here, and if we just hit render image, we'll see, okay, the biggest problem right now is that we can't actually see our particles. We just see this thing. If we come down here to the bottom of this box, we'll actually see that we're still seeing the box. So what we have to do is make this box transparent.
Yes.
So we're going to select our box right here. We'll go over to our shading tab. We'll go ahead.
Okay, hang on. Pause, box. No, I want real world. Box. Oh, maybe solid. There. That's a good working. Okay, go over to shading.
Ahead and click new for new shader. And then what we're going to do here is, get rid of this principal BSDF. We're going to select that, hit X to delete. And then what we're going to do is add shader and then do transparent BSDF. So what is transparent BSDF? This is basically just how we,
shader.
like transparency is just a fancy way to say, okay, now we're going to be seeing through the
Transparent.
object. The problem here is that we can't actually, if we go back to layout here, if we start to scrub through here, we go back to the rendering.
Wait,
we
I missed
click
where
here,
you hooked
and then
that
do
to.
transparent BSDF. So what is transparent BSDF? This is basically just how we,
Surface. Okay, surface. Bam.
like transparency is just a fancy way to say, okay, now we're going to be seeing through the object.
Okay.
The problem here is that we can't actually, if we go back to layout here, if we start to scrub through here, we go back over to rendering, we can still see the box. We don't see the sword, right? So what we have to do here is go to our material tab. We can do that over here or in our shading network. We just have to have our cube selected on here in our material tab. And then what we have to do is set the blending mode to alpha blend. That is just a way for us to make sure that this thing's going to be transparent when we're going to do shadow.
Okay, so make sure the cube is selected. Object mode. Yes, object on the cube. Yep. Down here, hang on, where did that go? Settings. Yep.
Shadow mode and just choose no, see the sword, right? So what we have to do here is go to our material tab. We can do that over here or in our shading network. We just have to have our cube selected on here in our material tab. And then what we have to do is set the blending mode to alpha blend. That is just a way for us to
Okay, blending mode to alpha blend. Ah, there we go.
make sure that this thing's going to be transparent when we're going to do shadow mode and just choose none. And I'm just going to click render right here so we can see that coming through, and we'll see, okay,
Oh, hang on,
we can do
I
that over here or in our
missed- I
shading
missed
network.
another
We just have to have
setting, of
our cube
course.
selected on here in our material tab. And then what we have to do is set the blending mode to alpha blend. That is just a way for us to make sure that this thing's going to be transparent when we're going to do shadow mode and just choose none. And I'm just going to
Shadow mode none. Shadow mode none. Okay.
Click render right here so we can see
okay.
that.
Oh, wait. I saw that. Because it doesn't cast a shadow then. Very cool. There's so many settings. Oh, so
and
great.
we'll see, okay, if we go back to our layout tab. Now we're going to be seeing through that because
Okay, so now layout tab. And now we can switch you back to final render. Oh, look, you can see the particles already. Oh, so awesome. Oh, that's
start to
cool.
see those as well. Now it's really difficult to see because of our environment's so bright. So something else that we can do is just go over shading, go to world tab, and just turn off a couple things. This is going to be temporarily. So if I just turn off something like volume, that's going to we're going to be able to see a lot better. And if we also turn off the background blur, which is going to be this one right here, now we can see this all in just black while it's reading.
Oh.
Now if we go over to layout, we can just rewind, hit play, and there we go. Now we can now see, okay, this is looking pretty close to what we're after.
That is cool. Yeah, I am totally happy with that. Totally fine.
Great. So at this point we can go ahead and go back to our shading. We'll go ahead and plug these things back in. And and we'll plug in our volume again. And then from here as well, we'll go back to our layout and turn on rocks and turn on collection, which is where our lights and everything are going to be. Great. And I'll just scrub through here. I'll go to render image and then check this out. So now we can see, okay, now we have all of that stuff looking pretty good. So now we can actually start integrating our characters.
Let's go.
We're going to do that in the next
Let's try that. Hang on. Let me get a shot that has a good particle bit in it. Let's render out image. Oh, oh, this is just so amazing. It looks so great. I'm surprised that, like, look, I did this following a tutorial, of course. There's no way I could ever figure all this out without the tutorial, but this is now something I know. And, you know, I have been, for many, many years, I have been wanting to be messing around in Blender. There's so many things that I would love to do, and I just could never dig deep enough into it to do it. And now that I have this drive to do this project that I'm talking about, it made me dive into this one particular video, and now this one video has completely transformed my understanding of Blender enough that I can actually start doing these things, so that this happiness goes beyond this one image right here. This one image is just the tip of the iceberg of my happiness for this, because it allows me to do so much more. And only the people who watch this particular stream at this particular moment are going to understand my happiness of this.
So start integrating our character. We're going to use this website called Mixamo.
I'm not going to worry about
really
the
good website for
character
just doing
part.
background characters, generic characters.
If
This isn't something I would
is
necessarily use for
all-
like a hero asset, but for what we're doing, we just need like a secondary element to complement our hero sword. This is a great website to do that. Now you'll need to log in, and then what we'll do is go ahead and go to characters, and then you can feel free to pick out whatever you want. I'm just going to type in female. Spoiler alert: the hero character I've ever seen is going to be a female. A lot of people didn't realize that when watching the cinematic. So you can always just search for Orisa up here in the search as well.
No.
So this is where we're headed. We're going to utilize Blender's built-in video editing and combine both clips into one render.
Oh,
So
okay.
to do this, what I'm going to do here is, instead of creating all this in this one file, I actually prefer to do this in a different file for long, complicated reasons. Long story short, there's a couple settings that we're going to have to set up specifically for the video editor. And personally, I just like to have that be in a different file. I'll show you those as we go. So I'm in a new Blender file here. I'm going to go over to my plus tab over here, hit plus, and then we'll go to video editing, and then hit video editing right there. That's just going to drop us into the video editing UI. And the first thing that we're going to do is just make sure we have our resolution set up. So we'll do 1080 by 1340, which is what we're using before. I'm going to do 50%, which is exactly what we're doing before. Again, if you want to put that higher for yours, totally fine. And then what we need to do is bring these renders into our timeline right here.
So I'm going to go ahead and start rendering this video, because I would love for it to be done before the end of my session time today. So I don't need that anymore. Oh, so amazing. Let me get a good final shot. See if I can render one more image, and does it have the particle effects? Nah, yes, but it doesn't do anything more for it than what it already had. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to start rendering the video, render animation. It's going to take a bit, and I'm just going to I might end the stream if it's kind of boring, but this to me is just amazing. So it's doing one frame at a time, frame 7 out of 120 frames, I think it was. So yeah, we got a bit, but I am so happy about this, because this is like a first finished product that I have done, and this is opening up so many more options in my head, ideas that I have had for a long time that I would love to do, that I now know enough that I can start doing it. I would say this video has taught me the basics, and so now I can kind of jump into, well, okay, I want to design my own landscape. How do I do that? Look up a video, design landscape, and I'll actually understand what they're talking about enough that I can just do it and end up with my own beautiful landscape. Amazing. It's going to be great, and I'm so looking forward to it. And watching this video render one frame at a time is kind of like icing on the cake. All right, so we are at frame 51. We are almost halfway done rendering the video. Oh, this is just so amazing. Oh, I'm going to share this over on the socials. Okay, so I was just typing that over onto a social. I hope that the file is not too big. Okay. Oh, so amazing. I'm not sure if I'll get a response though. I asked if we can. Well, I do see a video. Okay, so I do think that I might be able to share the video over to here. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, he shared a video. So I think we can. This is actually one of the first times I've heard my computer like really process. Like I can finally hear its fan start turning on. It's a liquid cool system, and usually I hardly ever hear that fan run. Now it's not like loud. It's a very nice quiet system, but I can slowly hear the fan start ramping up as the processor increases. All right, there, frame 120. Haha. Okay. Okay, now how do I share this? Okay, here we go. Now, how do I save? Image, save. Did it already save a copy? I thought we set a path for that. Forgotten Kings. Oh, no, that's an image. PNG. Image, save as. PNG, but I don't want it to be a PNG. Frame, render result. Checker pattern. Wait, where are all those? Render result. It might already have saved it somewhere. Checker pattern, narrow path, Nordic runes. New image. Create a new image. How do I save? View. Zoom out, fractional zoom, save. Invert. Share the image. Frame 120. So it has a whole bunch of frames, it looks like. Time, minute and a half. But what do I do with that? Okay, hang on. Let me come back to his video. Maybe he... Particle setup, particle rendering. Maybe he touches on that?
One here. So I'm gonna do version 2. And then we're gonna do render animation like that. This part should go much, much, much faster. We are getting an error down here. It says could not open file for writing. That's basically because we're telling it right here with the forward slash right there. And that we have a relative path. But we actually need to save this out. So I'm gonna save this. We save here. We'll just do cinematic version 1. There we go. Now wherever we have this saved out, now it's gonna put that file right there. So I'm gonna do render animation. Let that go through. Should be quick. And it looks like I just finished. And what I'm gonna do is here is just view animation. And that's gonna be our final.
Okay. Hang on. View animation. Okay, so here. View render. View animation. Okay, there we go. Now, how do I save that though?
A lot of compression stuff happening. We just double compress our render. Again, there's a lot of other ways to do all this stuff. This is basically just a quick way to get from point A to point B. So that's all looking really cool. In the next chapter, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about some next steps.
Layout. Hang on. What happened? Output. Render. File extension. Cache results. BMD. RGB. Well, that's all great, but where's the file? Renders. Did it create a new file? Weapons, sword, nature. No. Oh, come on. Where is it? I'm so looking forward to having that there. All right. Render animation. which is here. So, I mean, I have that, but what do I do with it? New image, no. Render result. Checker pattern, close up, black marble. Find those. Narrow sword, weapons, no. Sword blend, renders. Is this it? Oh, that's it. There it is. Oh, cool. Okay, okay. Now, cut you out of there. Let's bring you back in here. Paste you there. Oh, okay. This just got cool. All right, so let's find that. I don't even know what to say about this. Wow. I'll just do that. Wow. Oh, come on. That's not what I wanted. Oh, okay. Wow. Send. Uploading. Oh. All right, that's pretty epic. Ooh, I can do full screen. I did not know I could do full screen. Okay. All right, so that kind of brings this tutorial portion to an end. So now I need to kind of do it again in order to make it into what I want. Now that I understand how to do a lot of it, I will definitely be referencing videos again in order to remember what happened and all that stuff. So I thank you very much for joining me on this journey. I am truly blown away by what I have achieved and what I can now do in the future. And so it's a bit early. Like I still have another half an hour maybe in my streaming session. However, I'm going to cut it here because this seems like a good finale. And my next steps will be basically getting rid of most of the stuff in this model. I want to keep the sword. I'll begin modifying the sword to match my sword and then recreating the environment to match my environment and start putting all those pieces together. So that is going to be the upcoming parts. And I think it's also convenient the fact that this is part 10. So my first 10 parts are just learning Blender, how to make this stuff work. And so now I am super excited to actually begin converting this into my project. So thank you very much. This is awesome. And please join me for the rest of them.